In this video, I'm going to show you how you can record audio into Bitwig Studio. First, I'm going to show you how to record it into the Arrange area, and then also how you can record it into the Clip Launcher. What I've done so far in this production is I've just adjusted some of the mix levels. So if I press Tab, that's going to switch across to the mixer view, and I've just adjusted the levels, plus I've added in this extra trap style drum beat. So if you take a listen, this is what it sounds like so far. So that's the part that I want to record an audio part over. And for this, I'm going to use my bass guitar and record a bass line over it. So to do this, first let's create a new audio track. So I'll go to the Add menu and click Add Track. And while we're going about it, let me rename this so I know what I'm doing. So this is going to be a bass track. And then what I need to do is I need to set the input. So the input that's going to be recorded in. So on my audio device, I have my bass plugged into input 2. And if you just see, if I go back to my dashboard and then my audio devices, over here you can see I've got mono in and then mono in 2. And mono in 2 is going to the second input on my audio device. So I can go to my inputs over here and choose mono 2 as the device. Now let me just grab my bass. I've got my bass here. And then if I record on the track, just make sure also that you've turned on this input monitoring. As you can hear, I've got some level. So just make sure when you're looking at the meter that nothing's clipping there. That level looks good. So I'm going to put my playhead over here and I just want to set up a pre-roll. So I'm going to go into the play area over here, down to the options, and I've got a pre-roll of 2 bars. And I want it to play the metronome before it starts the pre-roll when it goes into the recording, and then we'll hit into the part and we should be ready to go. And also, I just want to make sure that I've got my metronome enabled. So when we're all ready to go, I'm going to hit record and then playback. Perfect. So there's the part. So as you heard, there was a pre-roll that came in and then it hit into the part. Now, if I took off the metronome, it would play the pre-roll but stop the metronome as it went into that part. So let me show you that. I'm actually going to delete that part, turn off the metronome, make sure my playhead is at bar 3, and let's do that again. Perfect. So there's the bass part. So as you can see with that one, without the metronome enabled, there was the pre-roll with the metronome, but then as it kicks in at bar 3, the metronome turns off. You might prefer this because maybe you've already got a groove and you're using the groove as your sense of rhythm and you just need that metronome as a sense of timing before you come into the part. Or you might just like to have the metronome going the whole way through, then you can turn it on. And if I drag this bigger, you'll be able to see that whole waveform that we used. If you drag bigger, you'll be able to see that whole audio waveform. Also, if you double click this part, it's going to open up the audio editor here, and here you can see the audio. Now, this is enabling comping. Now, we'll get into comping in a later video, but basically what comping allows you to do is record in multiple parts and then choose from them. So that's actually the overrun of the part before. So I'm just going to quickly just pull this back like this, just so we've got the full part. So taking a listen here, we've got that bass part. So that is recording audio into the arranger. Now, while we're at it, let me show you how you can record audio in as well to a clip. So I'm just going to take this part and move it over here. So I'm just going to move it out the way. Then I'm going to select the block here and I'm going to hit this record button and it's going to start recording. So check this out. And I'll stop playback. So there I've got the part. And I can also just take this and drag it into my range area. Now, this brings up an important thing that I'm going to point out now, and you're also going to see when I get into more details in the clip launcher. This part has been deactivated because the part in the clip is taking priority. So that's grayed out, but that is active. If I want to make this part active, I just click this button over here, which switches the playback back to the arranger timeline. So as I click that, that part comes active now. So just keep this in mind. If I play this part again, it's going to deactivate it because it's taking the clip in the clip launcher as priority. But if I switch back here, it's going to switch back to the clip in the arranger view. So that's how to record audio into Bitwig. We're going to explore more features, like I said, like comping and how you can use these features. But for now, that gives you a good grounding on how to record your audio in.